Oi, I'm not Jewish. I really have no right to use Yiddish, but sometimes Yiddish is the only thing that works for a situation. So I am going to go ahead and say, Oy vey. So I am not going to spend a lot of time doing the autopsy on what happened with Zelensky and Trump, that embarrassing debacle that took place in the Oval Office, because so many people have already analyzed it to death, and the general overall feeling seemed to be, yeah, that's where we are now. Apparently we're Russian now. Huh, oh no, because, poor Vlad. Vlad has suffered so much. He's gone through Trump with that hoax, Vlad supported me. Of course, Trump made it all about him, even when he was sitting next to the president of a country that has been invaded by a dictator and, and is suffering and trying to, get through and win this war. Trump still had to make it all about him and his suffering and how he and his buddy Vlad have suffered so much together. And, and how could Zelensky be saying mean things about Vladimir? He's my buddy. Why can't you be nice to the guy who's killed thousands of your people? What's wrong with you? You are so rude. You are so unpleasant. Oh, and why aren't you wearing a suit? Says this little jerk in the back. Don't you own a suit? He says like he's some little gay guy at a Hollywood brunch or something. No, don't you own a suit, really, to show up at such an occasion? So, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you call that, but ew, no. Embarrassing. Embarrassing for us, horrifying for us. But many people have already talked about it. I don't know what else to say about it other than, as I said previously, oi. So, what am I saying that might be positive or supportive or of any help whatsoever? I'm going to say something that a lot of you are probably already doing. So I'm certainly not taking any credit for thinking of this, because obviously many of you are already doing this. I've been on Amazon for quite a few years. And especially during the pandemic, it was very, very helpful. There were things that we needed that we couldn't get any other way. And they pulled together and a lot of the employees were actually very proud that they were able to help us through that. But now, with Jeff Bezos being one of the oligarchs who is kissing Trump's butt and lining up with him to make sure they're on the gravy train, even as the rest of us are getting kicked off, well, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, right. And Medicaid, I don't know, of all those sick kids and, people who would otherwise be on the street. They don't need that $1.25 or whatever they get a day. They don't need that. I mean, honestly, it's just waste and abuse. It's waste and abuse. Yeah. Anyway, so the oligarchs are lining up behind Trump and Elania, as I like to call him. And they want to make sure that they don't just stay rich, but get richer until they have plundered everything that they can. And here's another thing I wanted to mention, because I thought of this morning a couple of years ago in 2022. A gentleman by the name of Douglas Rushkoff, who's an expert in various, I think, building bunkers or something. I don't know exactly what he's an expert in, but he's an expert in things that made a cabal of very rich people call him for a conference to talk about his expertise. And he didn't really know what it was about until he got there. And this room full of super rich people were basically making it clear that they wanted his advice on how to build the bunker, the compound, the getaway, where they could retreat away from the world once they've destroyed it and take all of their servants and have their underground swimming pool or whatever and leave the rest of us to, breathe the polluted air and try to grow things in the destroyed ground. And they will still have all their goodies and their wine cellars and whatever underground. And this is what he realized they were there for. This group of very rich people. This is real, guys. I'm not making this up. It's not a fictional novel. This is something that actually happened to this Douglas Rushkoff, and he wrote a book about it called Survival of the Richest. And you can get it on Amazon or other places too, I'm sure. And it just gives you an idea of their mindset, where they really are, because they understand that this is not sustainable. What they are doing to our world is not sustainable. So they're planning on a little getaway. I think most of them realize they can't get away to Mars or anything. Maybe some of them are thinking that. I don't know. But wherever here on our blasted earth that they plan on going with all their goodies, they're planning their exit strategy. When we're all fed to the teeth and we've had it and we can't take it anymore, a bunch of these guys understand that that could well happen, and they are planning their getaway. So if you want to take a peek at that book, it will not make you happy. It will not reassure you about the good intentions of all of those Jeff Bezos and all those guys, all those oligarchs lining up behind Trump to kiss his fat diapered ass. Okay, so that's just something that lets you know where we are. Don't trust these people. They are not on your side. They are on their own side. They only have one side, and that's theirs. Just like Trump only has one allegiance, to himself, and maybe to his rich buddies too. I guess, you need friends while you're eating your steak covered with ketchup. You need friends. So that's it. That's who their allegiance is to themselves. And for some reason to Vladimir Putin. I'm not sure what that's about. I do think he just loves dictators and just he's not interested in meeting King Charles, talking to King Charles. King Charles is a constitutional monarch. He is not a dictator. Therefore, he is beneath Trump's interest. Trump is only interested in people who can have people executed by waving their hands, or have them poisoned or thrown off balconies, allegedly. So he's not interested in King Charles. King Charles does not have the kind of power, grab them by the throat and squeeze till they're, they cry uncle kind of power that Trump wants. So he does want to align himself with Putin and other dictators, because that's what he wants, the little goose-stepping soldiers and all that. He wants that. So as long as MAGA and all those people help him with that, he's fine to throw him a bone periodically. Oh, you don't like trans people? Oh, yeah, you're right. They're horrible. There's only two sexes. Yeah, whatever you guys think, whatever will keep you happy. Yeah, so that's where we are. We've got the oligarchs. We've got Elania. We've got Trump making us Russian, and we've got the book that spells it out, Survival of the Richest by Douglas Rushkoff. If you want to take a peek at it. It's much scarier than any work of fiction. All right, that's kind of it for now, except for one final oi. And bye-bye.